Hi, I'm Nikki Woods, and we're going beyond the studio on blackamericaweb.com with Raheem DeVaughn.
Thank you for having me.
It's like, are you always this?
Well, reserved?
Yeah. Laid. Well, I don't know if it's reserved. I think it's late. I don't think you're reserved at all.
It depends on what mode I'm in. I'm in my baby oil bathwater R&B mode right now. So
he shut the studio down
I'm a little,
earlier.
I'm a little laid back right now. But if you want me to get a little crazy with it, then I can too.
No, but after a performance, I would think that your energy levels go up. Do they go up at all? Or?
Yeah, this is very challenging, the time that we perform here on the show.
Oh, absolutely.
Not that I'm complaining or anything. I think the hardest work I've ever done is in Japan, doing shows at like what's equivalent to like 6 and 7 o'clock in the morning. But it was 2 shows back to back.
Well, we always say you can really tell the quality of a performer and a singer if they can do this kind of time. We've had people come and they won't go to bed. Because they don't want to wake up.
Yeah. I mean, I had to go to bed, but I've been up since midnight,
Raheem has a new album in stores, Love, Sex, Passion.
Love, Sex, and Passion, yep.
Yeah. So what makes this album different than the last album? What growth have you seen, and what's changed about you and your style since the last one came out?
I think I've, developed into a better songwriter. Still becoming a better songwriter the more songs that I write. I wrote the entire album with the exception of one song, which I co-wrote with BJ the Chicago Kid. I feel that it shows the growth and maturity as a man. I feel like it's probably my most sexually induced poetic album.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like my R. Kelly 12 play, Prince Purple Rain. And I Want You album.
I agree. We were all we had like a little listening party before you got here where we were all listening in the studio, and we were like, wow. Wow. Like, what do you do to go to that place? Because you're in the studio, you've got people around. What is your writing process?
I just started getting comfortable with actually having people in the studio.
Oh, really?
Like kind of hanging out, and stuff like that, So, but it's cool. Like, it's pretty, I guess, normal, but it depends on what you consider a normal studio session. I don't like a lot of traffic. I like to get straight to work. I'm very focused. Sometimes I do 2 or 3 songs in a day. So, and that's over a 3 to, well, if it's like 2 or 3 in a day, it's like a 15-hour span maybe. You know what I mean? Depending on what I'm working on, if it's a mixtape or some features for another artist or, or some stuff for myself.
So how many different artists have you written for?
A lot.
Yeah,
I got a lot of hip hop stuff out there that I've done. For hip hop artists, as far as artists, R&B, what have you. In my particular genre, Boney James, Usher, Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, when we were doing the research, it's close to 50. If not more.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah,
it's a lot. About right. I'm kind of like on the radar, but under the radar. I'm a recluse at times. So
really,
just growing out of that shell of being where I need to be when I need to be there.
I understand. And I think one thing that's interesting that you said earlier that I really like, and I don't know if everybody works the way that you do, but that you treat this like a 9 to 5 kind of. I mean, you're every day that you can
it's
possibly.
It's more than a 9 to 5. It's more like a 15.
Well, meaning that you just don't do it when the feeling hits you. That you have to do it on a daily basis.
That's what I do. I'm responsible for a lot. I take care of a lot. I handle a lot of different situations, and being an independent artist now.
Everything you say is just so cool. Like, I would say I pay bills, and you say you handle a lot of different situations.
Yeah, I mean, where we go, because we got bills. The bills are the bills. You know what I mean? It's just like the realization is that man in my position, a lot of people would depend on me.
Yeah.
So if this machine isn't moving, then a lot of other stuff isn't moving, So, outside of music, I have a nonprofit that I do now. It's called the Love Life Foundation. So for that, for example, the more, light that's shed on what I'm doing musically and the more popular I am, the more it benefits my personal initiatives that I want to support with my foundation.
So tell me about your foundation.
Well, it's called the Love Life Foundation. We're based out of the DMV area. One of our strongest initiatives right now is the fight against domestic violence. Not just with adults, but also with the youth. This is National Awareness Month for the youth, for teenagers, and what have you. So, you know, that's just one of the initiatives that we just fighting really hard for. Of course, you know, music in the schools.
Mm-hmm.
You know, anything centered around education for the youth. You know, HIV and AIDS awareness. All the typical things that you know, that impact the black community in particular. For me, you know, just being a black man, you know, and taking it to the streets of where I live. So that's something we just been heavy on. You know, Operation Nourishment, which is an event that I, you know, partnered up with Tony Lewis Jr. to do in DC, which is, you know, I just participated in that for the first year. It's been 3 years in existence, where we feed the homeless, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. So just community oriented stuff, you know, where I get to play Robin Hood, you know, for where I, you know, the city I represent, you know, DC, Maryland.
Who did that for you when you were growing up? Who do you remember as your Robin Hood or your hero?
I don't remember like too many coming through.
Yeah.
So that's why, you know, I took the initiative to just, you know, start my own foundation, and take that time out. We go to schools. Last week alone, I had a couple of different colleges locally and high schools. You know, Flowers High School. You know, at the crib, talked to 400 kids.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So. And that particular assembly was about, you know, domestic violence among teenagers,
right,
among the youth.
So I know what you mentioned a little bit about the 90s being a really good decade musically.
Yeah.
What do you wish would come back again? Which trend do you wish would come back again?
I think I'm just bringing it back. I think, you know, it started to just go in another direction. I feel like we were starting to leave now the ratchet state. I think we've been some most ratchet state ever in music. You know what I'm saying? Like but across the board though.
Right,
like,
right.
Like, you know, I would, you know, try to figure out when was it cool to, you know, start disrespecting women on a record in an R&B song. Like, right, you know what I'm saying? You expect that in, you know, in certain hip hop songs, you know what I mean, in the culture of that. But like, when did it become cool? Like, you know what I mean, in the R&B tip. I think, you know, I think the lines got crossed where, you know, a lot of the singers now wanted to be rappers and vice versa.
Right.
And you know, and the cultures kind of merged, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I just feel like that everything has its place, you know, and you know, if you're gonna tell a story, tell the whole story. I choose to make music that's empowering for women. That's my lane. That's what I choose to do, and that's what I'm gonna stick to doing.
Well, I love it, and Tom mentioned it earlier that, I mean, at least, and sometimes it's more than one, but on every album you have at least one quote unquote anthem.
Yeah, I'm big on that. Like,
yeah,
you know,
so that is like your signature thing. You go in and you're like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, some people feel like it's overkill or what have you, but it's no different than, you know what I'm saying, than you know, you pick a rapper that's just, you know, with his misogynistic ways, or just talking about the car he drive. Right. Every album he's talking about the car he drive. I got the new this, I got the new that. So it's no different than, you know what I mean, like that's my thing, you know.
All right, the album is Love, Sex, Passion. Raheem DeVaughn, it is in stores now. Make sure you support, and we'll post the link for your foundation too, so people can learn more about that.
Oh, definitely, please.
And support in that way.
Yes, Love Life Foundation, DMV.org.
Very good.
You know, if you want to make a donation, you know, want to find out what we're doing community-wise, also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Raheem_DeVaughn. You can also follow the foundation at Love Life Foundation DMV.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm Nikki Woods. We've gone beyond the studio on BlackAmericaWeb.com.